couch setup. Everyone could be heard, I think, on the couch setup. So
we're gonna give a check over at LadioCast real quick. Check. Yep, coming through here.
yeah.
Everybody's coming through.
Don't say anything.
Don't jinx it.
What do you call it? Incriminating. Because that won't
Like Uncle
be good.
Floyd.
So what we're talking about though is that this weekend we went to an Italian American function.
Yeah, it was an Italian American function. And then we'll talk about the cast of characters.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, stand by because we got to get through the. I like to call the motherhood. The
It was more for a legal standpoint. We're just saying it was an Italian American function.
Yeah, we're not going to say
no,
the
right.
place where we were.
Nothing like that. No
names.
No.
No beefsteak either. Definitely.
We'll discuss the
That's
beef
a giveaway.
Steak.
Don't do that.
Bullshit is what it was.
I was promised so much.
There was a lot of disappointment, yet redemption.
Yes.
But again, we'll get into that. All right, jabronis, we're back. We got a special, I guess you could call it a Bloodline Brothers episode of the LPDS today. To my left, your right is everyone's favorite guest. Well, don't tell Crusher that. One of the top guest.
I am right now. I am me and Crusher are number one contenders. And then on November 13th,
we'll find out for sure.
We'll find out when I hoist the LPDS Guest of the Year Super Middleweight Championship Belt of Champions for charity belt over my head
in victory, and
I'll be probably very tired.
Yes, you would be, but
then we'll know. But until then,
thanks for being here.
Of course, anytime.
And to my far right, Pistol Pete, and to my nearer right is Pistol's brother, Luscious Louie. So thank you, Luscious, for being here today.
Thanks.
And also thanks for sporting the Team Vera shirt for charity. Earlier today, we were at it's called the Buddy Walk. It's in New Jersey. It's a local chapter of a foundation for Down syndrome support. And we all went earlier to support our niece, Nikki Sticks and I's niece, and really your niece through family, if you will, non-blood family. Yeah. Vera.
Tell them who else was there.
Uncle Floyd?
Who was at the Buddy Walk?
Oh, well, Sausage and Peppers was there as well.
Sausage and Peppers was.
Yeah.
And he was a hit.
Oh, big hit.
Right. We have no video or photographic footage of SMP per his request.
Correct.
And also I think for the fans' request too, because everyone loves trying to guess and theorize what they think Sausage and Peppers looks like and who he is, and I don't want to ruin the surprise or anything. You want to know,
like Charlie's Angels. You never saw who Charlie was. You're never gonna know Sausage and Peppers.
No, even whenever he does come on the show, we're gonna protect his identity and his safety, and at all costs.
And it's a shame too, because he looked great today.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's spotting that beard now?
That beard's so good.
Yeah, his little sausage beard.
Yeah.
So it was nice. But thank you guys for showing up. So that's what this shirt is. We all got team shirts to represent, because there was a lot of Team Vera today. And so thank you for still wearing that. I'll be wearing that shirt eventually on the podcast when I make it a podcast appropriate and de-sleeve it.
De-sleeve.
And may I just say that as kind of a precursor to my championship reign, I was also the champion of donations for the Buddy Walk for our team.
You know what else I love about you, Nick?
By a wide. I'm just saying,
so humble.
Whenever I'm put to the test and a championship is on the line, Crusher, I come loaded for bear.
I just want to
loaded for bear claws.
Yeah. He said it was a middleweight belt, right?
The super middle lightweight. We're working on the terminology.
I was going to say, because you're neither of those things.
No.
Or none of the above.
I'm not even super.
But I guess if you add them,
it's all together. Relative. It's all relative, because in the LPDS universe, the weight classes could be different.
I didn't think about that. I'm a first timer.
I get it.
Long time listener.
First time, never time.
Yeah.
First my apologies.
No time. Yeah.
My apologies.
It's okay. But thank you guys for being here. I got probably about 1,500 more thank yous at the end. But we're in Site Bravo. I want to make this known for people in YouTubeville. We're on Site Bravo, which you've seen before in different locations of Bravo. We are now in the third location which is also my bedroom when I come and visit here. So we
This
are
is-
all
Is
sitting on my bed.
Is this
having a
so this would
podcast.
be Site Bravo Charlie?
Yes, it's
So
Bravo
the main
2.
room is Site Bravo Alpha. Then this is Site Bravo
Bravo.
and then this is Site Bravo
Site Bravo
Charlie.
squared.
Site Bravo
Right.
Charlie.
Yeah. So a lot of different sub sites here. It's a pretty decent compound you guys have created
We
for
try
yourselves.
our best.
Yeah. So
I hope that there can't be any other place we go.
Well, we could just start renting out the place to people who want to do podcasts.
do podcasts.
We could
Yeah.
be banging 3 podcasts
Well,
at a time.
Don't forget the grand plan for the next site. We couldn't do it all 4 of us, but we got
Oh,
site bathroom.
site bathroom.
So,
That's Zulu.
yeah.
Nobody wants there as the last
Bravo
place.
dumper. So one of these days,
Somebody farting here?
yeah, something it's gonna smell like fun.
How
in
about
there.
site Delta dumper?
Site
Delta
double D.
Delta? Yeah. So one day we'll do it in there.
We'll do
That'll
the Delta
listen. If we could get away with doing a successful podcast episode in a bathroom, this is going to the moon.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the holiday episode.
Yeah.
Saving that for Christmas.
Yeah. with
The
us.
Charlie Brown special,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
will.
the Charlie Brown
I
Brown.
got a little Christmas tree that looks so sad. Just put it on top of the toilet.
Christmas
Yeah.
time is
So
here.
stay tuned for that. But we got a lot to bullshit about. I want to get down to business first. So let's just step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Luigi's Rusty Trombones. Looking to add a little zest back to your life? Pick up a certified pre-owned rusty trombone from Luigi. These vintage horns have been blown and yanked by some of the finest trombone players you've never heard of. They have purposely been left in a damp basement in a flood zone to make sure they are extra rusty. So have yourself a little toot and use coupon code I'm Sorry Louie for 4% off today. No website information. Just go to your local Craigslist and type in Rusty Trombone, and we are on page 3. Now, I have it on good authority to let you know that our esteemed friend and renowned sex predator, Tony Rigatoni, has utilized Luigi's in the past with great success. So thank you, Luigi. And at 4% off, that's a deal at twice the price. You can't beat
Come in right now. We're going to charge you 8% extra.
Oh,
So go. It would actually be 2% is twice the price.
Twice the price of
2%
a
off.
4% discount would be, what would it be? In actual math, what's twice? Would it be? I don't know.
You
We're
have
not
to
here
you have
for
to
that.
know the price first, and then you take 4% off of that, and then you double that. And
All
it's
right.
more, but it's still a deal. That's why it's such a good deal. That's the expression. It's a deal at twice the price.
All right. All right. Well, you got.
Listen, these are the jokes, folks. All right. So, Sticks, you brought the fact today, I think, right?
Yeah. So I had gone through a few facts.
Get this up there.
Yeah, I had gone through a few facts that you purposely have left out for other reasons.
Well, I just don't feel knowing you know me and what I like and don't like. There are some facts out there that I don't like. I'm not going to personally discuss. If a guest wants to bring it on, I have no problem with that.
It's a pretty benign fact, but when you hear it, you'll know why Johnny is a little skivotz about it.
It's benign in Nick Cage universe.
Yeah,
but not.
so. This is according to the director, the casting director of Vampire's Kiss, which is everyone knows is Pete's favorite Nick Cage movie.
just phenomenal movie.
In order to get excited during his love scenes with Jennifer Beals, who, by the way, still a stunner all these years
Oh,
later.
yeah.
She's a
I'd
gorgeous.
still take her to dinner.
We'd split the check, but yeah.
at the Sizzler.
Yeah, the Ciccolinis.
But in order to get excited, he asked that he would have hot yogurt poured over his toes to get excited for the lovemaking scenes.
Whatever works.
No, that's disgusting.
Whatever works. You know.
Well,
But-
I mean, you got a feet thing, so like that.
No, an
obviously-
anti-feed.
It's an anti-foot fetish.
well, that should have been more clear. You're right. Yes. But
Hot
wait,
yogurt.
he put hot yogurt.
Isn't that just cheese?
No, well, eventually, especially if it's been
Johnny's so grossed out. I'm gonna drink this
can't
beer.
even
This will
handle-
help me.
Oh, I gotta wash this conversation down.
The other
That's
fact,
really weird.
The other fact is that for several of his action movies, much like Keanu Reeves, he has trained with Hoist Gracie in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like
No
legitimately high-level training with Hoist
Did he
Gracie.
do that for the jiu-jitsu movie that he was
I
in?
don't think so, because we watched that
He's
movie.
only
There
in
was
like
no
10 minutes of
jujitsu
the
in it.
movie.
There was not a minute of jiu-jitsu by anyone,
Correct.
particularly Nick Cage.
Yes.
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't know.
entire budget. What that was,
I don't know what happened with that movie.
we were like COVIDed out, and we were still like, this is worse than what's happening to us.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing that happened today.
I'll,
And
I'll
we
stick
had-
with the COVID.
And we had bat juice.
And
inside.
that was the day
That
that our
seam.
oxygen levels were the lowest.
yeah.
That's
That's why we
saying
picked.
a
That's
lot.
why I picked that movie.
Probably why you
Exactly.
decided to pick it anyway, but
Yeah.
I still haven't watched it. I'll watch it.
Yeah, you will.
You
eventually.
still have to watch the Apache helicopter movie too.
Yeah, I always
wait,
forget
that's
the
a
name
great
of
one.
it.
I think it's like
Arrowhead?
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds.
It's
Yeah.
not Thunderbirds, but it's like thunder from above or something. Not down
I think
under.
it might be Thunderbirds.
No, I think it's called Thunderbirds.
Thunder Whirly Birds.
It's a movie that Nick Cage did with Tommy Lee Jones in like the
Yes.
early '90s. It's Top Gun, but with Apache
with
helicopter.
But giant.
And like it's very similar. Like he has a love interest. He's a hot shot.
So Tommy Lee Jones, like around the time of Under Siege.
Yeah,
Big,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Tommy
Was-
Lee Jones when he had the option to turn down movies.
Yeah.
Like before he's older now. He's not doing as much acting.
Right.
When he had pick of the litter,
Yeah.
this is what he.
He
This is
was
what
like,
he
picked
did.
this one.
I choose
Yeah.
this one.
and he was
Yeah.
only 38 in that
What's it
movie.
called?
I'm looking it up right now.
He was only 38, but he still looked like.
but he was
50.
the old man. He was the old man.
I haven't seen. Yeah, there's certain actors out there. I was talking about this yesterday.
Firebirds.
Firebirds. That's what it was.
Firebirds. That's what it was.
That never look their age. Like always look permanently older. Like Tony Soprano always looked like at least in his 40s.
right.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman has been like 86 years old for the past 2 decades.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones has never been under 65 years old
Craig
ever.
T.
He was
Nelson?
born that way.
Craig T. Nelson.
Krug T. Nelson always looks just like he looks like he's your dad if you're 4 or 40. That's just, it's my dad. That's Coach. He's my
Coach.
Dad. Yeah,
It's
and
Coach.
he's just
Get that up there. Get
It's
that
up
mic
here.
up there. Yeah,
It's
there
up.
you go. Just like you're, sucking down a spot.
just
like
that
you
rusty-
want it.
just like
Yeah.
that rusty trombone.
That's right. Yeah. Luigi would be disappointed in you, right?
Do you want to tell the story of the
I feel like Louis got to take up the
Lily?
ball
Because
on
T
that
doesn't remember it. So
Yeah. So I don't know, Louis, if you want to tell the tale from your side. The first time I met Louis, I have no recollection of it. And apparently
one. It left a
I don't
scar.
want to. Yeah, I don't know if I permanently scarred him, but there's a mark.
Yeah. So first time I was hanging out with Nikki Sticks and you were home and Nick kind of warned me. He was like, hey, my brother, he could be kind of an asshole.
So timeline wise, this was about 2010, 11 time frame, probably 2011.
probably
I'd say.
before, no, because before that, because 2011, I was still in high school, but I was like a senior. So this is probably when I was like a junior. I was like a sophomore, I think, probably.
yeah, it was probably like my freshman year.
2009.
2009.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I was coming. Maybe I was back for
You were
summer
home. Yeah,
vacation
you were
from
home from
college.
college.
That's what
From
it
college,
was, not
right.
from Army.
Not from Army.
Not from saving, and
Private
brother,
Ryan.
Thank you for your service. So it kind of went into it like that, and so I shook your hand. I said hi.
You went to our
was at
high
your-
school as well.
Yeah.
We all went to the same high school, Seton Hall Prep,
right.
all
Yes.
boys school, uniform, shirt, tie, all the how you doing. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so I'm over at the house and shake your hand and Lou, I'm Pete's brother, and you kind of knew Pete, so it was like, okay, great. And then you like, I don't know how it came up, but in a whatever old I was, like 15, 16, I was like, oh, I'd be impressive and good conversation fodder would be if I spoke about how I'm learning how to play the trombone. And I just said, oh yeah, by the way, I'm learning how to play the trombone. I don't know how it came up.
I think we were talking about you playing instruments.
Yeah.
I think I said
Oh,
something
you
like,
asked-
do you play instruments too, or are you in the
do
music
remember.
kind of
stuff.
You do remember. Because I think that actually sounds exactly right. You were like,
I'll tell you what. No, I
Plastic.
no.
Start shaking.
Yes.
I don't
Oh, no.
remember, but I'll
Throw
tell
it
you
up.
why. Because that's something I would ask because I knew like I try to see if there's a connection because like people ask Nick like, oh, do you do this stuff?
Do you
like,
do Army?
Yeah, do you do Army too? Because I do it, and I ask all his friends like, do you also like cheeseburgers or because
Yeah.
he does. So I think I was. There's another part. So keep going with the story, and then I'll chime in from my my oculars.
Yeah. So yeah, you asked what kind of instruments I play. I said, oh, these are the instruments I play. And then I said, oh, and I'm learning trombone. And like, you were just right away, you go, probably the rusty trombone. And then in my mind, that was it. You walked away. And then you looked at me and be like, he's an asshole. And I was like, oh, really?
Get that mic up there.
And then I was like, oh, really? I really didn't think it was that bad. But then whatever. And then
with that planted the seed of asshole in
for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Until the time you thought we first met.
Until last night when he saw you again for the first time.
Honestly, yeah. So I legitimately don't remember that at all. I thought the first time we actually physically met and hung out was 2 years ago after Sticks and I did the Rocky Run the first time down, over in Philly.
Yeah.
And we hung out after that. Nick told me this story literally yesterday. I don't know how it came up. I think you said, "Oh, Louis coming to hang out," and you're like, "Oh," and then you were telling us your wife was coming too. What are you doing?
It's the best sound. I had to get that.
All right. So I was talking about, oh yeah, I wonder how should I introduce myself? I'm nervous. I don't want to screw this up. Maybe I'll say something like I'm a big fan of your work and what you've done with Louis. And you're like, just don't mention what you said to Louis the first time you met. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It enlightened me. And Nick starts to tell me the story. And he said, yeah, I think you asked Louis about if he does band stuff too. And Louis told you that he's learning the trombone. And as soon as Nick said the word trombone, in my head immediately, I go, yeah, probably the rusty trombone. So then Nick finished the story and he says, then you said, yeah, probably the rusty trombone. And so instead of me, like, I'm not denying that this story happened, that this meeting happened. I just don't recall. And the reason I'm not 100% like unequivocally denying it is because I know that's exactly something I would have said then and now, because it still came into my mind a decade later. As soon as he said, yeah, Louis was learning the trombone, I was like, the rusty trombone, because I'm a child. So that, and once he told me that story and I kind of put the pieces together, it's like, this is something I can reasonably have said and ruined for this poor kid in high school. I felt terrible.
Dude, he went home, he threw the trombone down. He's like, never again. He lost weight, shaved his fro off. I'm going to finance school. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to marry a fine honey. Like,
well, that's the thing. Is
thank you for being my fuel.
That's immediately what I thought of was,
I'm going to marry a vague Middle Eastern girl.
A very vague, on the fringes of it. I didn't.
I'm going to show you.
One of the things that I always think about, not because it's like an ego thing, but it's like, man, like I don't want to be the negative reason somebody falls off the deep end. Like, I don't want to be that asshole because I'm not thinking about it, I'm not empathizing with somebody. And now they're going, they're spiraling down. So when he told me that, I was like, oh my God, what if Louis took a different turn in his life?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it was touch and go for a little bit though. So
thank God
Louis was all set. He's like, oh, I'm going to join the military and I'll hang out with guys like Johnny Libretti and it'll be awesome. And after that, he's like, no, screw the army.
Yeah.
He could have been like the greatest general ever.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm thinking more of like he could have spiraled into a deep depression, college drop, like never went to college, disappointment in the family.
You might be overestimating your effect.
Or worse, join the Air Force.
Yeah. I'm going to join the Air Force and then I'll get him. And I'll crash my plane into him.
I'm going to shoot him down.
But I felt terrible. I'm glad it didn't affect you in any sort of way negatively, like more than whatever maybe happened that week.
No, it was fine.
But I still feel bad about it.
I think it just negatively affected his thoughts of you, where I'd like,
I don't care about that.
Up until recently, when me and you started actually like hanging out and getting close, every time I'd be like, oh yeah, I got to go home for dinner. Like Johnny's visiting. He'd be like, ugh. Like, he was
what's a nice add-on? Like, you'd like this. Nice little add-on was last night I get home with my wife and she's like, Johnny's such a nice guy. And then I was like, yeah, no, he's really nice.
He's all right.
She was like, I thought he was going to be an asshole. Because I guess she heard the rusty trombone.
She
story,
must have heard that.
and
Yeah.
then she was just anticipating
On your
he
first
just says
date?
things.
But not even like anticipating. She was like waiting. She was like, all right.
Where's it gonna come? When's it gonna come out? It's gonna.
When is this gonna happen?
Yeah, then it never
And
happened.
never
She's like,
happened. And
"He's
she
such a
was
nice
so
guy."
thrown.
I was like, yeah, he is.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I was going to be an asshole too. So
You had
in her defense,
you were able to get your asshole out in different avenues last night.
I still get it. I'm still an asshole, but I try to contain it to myself. I'll be an ass to myself and the people I don't care about.
Right.
But otherwise, I try to contain it for the people I care about. And I also didn't know I was I was an asshole to you.
I will say
It literally, I swear to God, it was mostly all of these years too that like every time like Nick would like mention your name, he would also like encourage the behavior.
He would try to stoke the fire to
he
get
would,
the rivalry
yeah,
going.
Yeah, I gotta go hang with my brother Johnny. He's
Yeah.
an asshole, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. He called me. He said I like to play the rusty
You're like, yeah,
trombone.
you're right. Because he
remember.
told me the rusty trombone bit.
Well, I will admit, and this is a compliment towards you. You have become, at least to me,
non-asshole.
much less of an asshole.
I'm not an asshole.
We never were assholes to each other. Besides,
You
our
were-
Indiana Jones style fights.
No, you were kind of mean to me, but not in like a tip. Like you weren't a bully to me. Like you protected me in high school, like when you didn't have to. You got the Mecca brothers to look out for me. Like
yeah,
you
I
were-
couldn't do it myself.
Yeah.
I had to outsource.
I had to outsource
Get some
that
muscle.
shit.
Yeah, I had to get the brute squad.
to the Coon Squad,
Yeah,
to Bowser and
and Tony,
and Tony. Wait, who were the
the Bushwhackers.
the Bushwhackers? Yeah,
Is that what you were thinking
the
about?
Bushwhackers.
I knew it.
Like this.
Yeah, they were on an episode of Family Matters, by the way.
They were. That's how I knew them
Yes.
from that. I didn't know them from wrestling because I don't watch wrestling.
Yeah, well, maybe you should. If you want to get the upper hand on Crusher, you better know how to cut.
I got plus. Trust me, I got plenty of hands on Crusher. I got hands all over Crusher.
Oh, Uncle Crusher, this greasy
on
body.
his greasy Jack Adonis body,
Yeah.
his tight little pants.
Yeah.
This is where you're gonna do this?
We could leave, by the way.
No,
Yeah.
you stay and watch.
Yeah, this is where we all slowly
three of us are gonna
we all
just walk
slide
away.
out of the screen and we'll zoom in on
On
Sticks just
Sticks.
having some sort of like we don't know if it's a shit talking promo or he's trying to ask him out on a date.
Yeah. He's like, I'll look him straight in his eyes, and then I'll put my hands on his
Those
shoulders,
pouty
and
lips,
and then I'll feel a little sweat go down my brow, and
and then he'll know.
then he'll know that I'm here for business,
Yeah.
and then I'll stroke his hair.
And I'm also here for pleasure.
And I'll ask if he wants the last shrimp
What's,
cocktail.
what's really funny
I let you
is
have the last shrimp cocktail.
it's
That's
really
how much
funny.
you mean to me.
This entire rivalry between Sticks and Crusher has affected Crusher's family.
Oh no.
Really?
Crusher's,
yes.
Crusher's father, Big Franken Mike, hell of a guy. He legitimately has an issue with Sticks now and thinks that he's trying to make a move on his son. So I always have to hear it on the back end, and it's really
like
stuck.
Crusher.
So this, yeah, that's more the rear, the back door.
The back door
Yeah.
end.
So this whole culmination at the Rocky Run is really going to come to a head, especially if Big Mike sneaks. We won't know. He's not going to tell me if he's going to show up. He might just show up on his motorcycle in the middle of the race and
Hey, look,
take
try
care
to
of
fight
business
me.
and try to take care of business
Because he thinks
because
I'm
he's out for blood.
he thinks I'm turning his son gay.
Crusher is out for the belt. Franken Mike's out for blood.
I'll take a both.
So
I'll double team them both.
I wish you would double team me.
Yeah,
That's
my
what Nick's
God.
thinking.
yeah, so that'll be a good.
Oh my
I got to
God.
try to get. I really need to get in this next month and a half, get famous enough and rich enough to hire a guy to just follow us with a camera so we could get all the content
Get a
during the
steady
race.
cam
We
on
should have
you
had a
guys.
cam. We
Yeah.
should have had a cam last night.
Oh, last night. So we went to an event, the four of us. Your family invited us to the event. We were the sort of the outsiders. We're not tapped into the power brokers of the area. And we went to this event. I mean,
It was
I don't know what
it was like an Italian American
Yeah.
like catered.
it was
catered
yeah,
thing.
I would call it the Toto with Tony's of America Club, like the TTAC, like it's right up my alley. It was almost like your father knew, like I think John would very much like what's going to happen tonight.
He's like, I know just the person for this.
Right. And it was a lot of there was a reason for the event that I'm not going to get into here because it doesn't matter. But the cast of characters at the event was every stereotype, not stereotype,
I give Crusher a stereotype.
Yeah, you guys are still talking about Crusher. Yeah.
It was every stereotype you could possibly imagine from
A North Jersey,
North Jersey Italian American.
Yeah.
Even the non-Italians that were there, like the Irish people that were like they had Irish last names, were still like they almost were forced to immerse themselves.
They had
in the
Italian flavor.
Yeah, they
There's
did.
pinky rings.
There was
Yeah,
like
it was
garlic in the game.
Yeah,
It was like
a lot.
Yeah, it was like corned beef and marinara.
Yeah, a lot of garlic powder being like sprinkled on people. A lot of pinky rings. You could
There
smell.
were so many pinky rings.
You could-
There were so many pinky rings.
You walk in and you smell. You almost feel all the hair product that was being used out there.
If you lit a match,
You
in
could
there,
not.
yeah.
No.
No, definitely not.
Definitely
Like,
not.
your soul glow didn't even like make a dent in that.
No.
Yeah. You think I got a lot going on, right?
Just let your soul glow.
Do the top part.
I can't. Only that one guy could do it.
That's true.
You just gotta squeeze the old piscadillo.
Just got deal. We're gonna go
Try to
on.
hit those notes.
First, I will say the food was very, very good.
Breathtaking.
Yeah, but what I don't like, and I mentioned this to your mother today,
Was how late it was?
yeah, that bothers me. But
No, the not the dry time, the time between
dry time.
the food, like the empty
They-
between meals, between entrees.
they
or
fool you because
courses,
you're
that's
you're
what I'm
at a
thinking
good pace. Like you get there, you have your drinks, you say your hellos, then you sit down, then they bring a bread over. Then like 15 minutes later, then they come with the antipasto.
The bread should
tray.
already be on the table.
Bread should already be on the table.
Because
That's
it's
number
not. It wasn't even warm.
No,
right?
it
You didn't
wasn't.
get
If
to
it was
anything.
warm and
No.
brought to the table,
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. But it was just there.
No.
Then the
it was-
and by the time you work your way through the antipasto, another 25 minutes. Okay, you've had like maybe a couple times. Then they bring out your pasta dish. Okay, like we're on a good pace. Then when and the pasta dishes are like small, as they should be, because you have all these courses. So you finish that. I mean, we wolfed it down super quick.
Oh yeah.
Then it's like 45 minutes from that to when they bring out the main food. And I'm like, that's
It was
that's
probably
too
closer, closer like 35,
Yeah.
40 minutes.
long. Yeah, that's too long between a pasta course and the main dish. What I had to say, and I told this to your mother today, I complained to her, even though she wasn't there, because she likes the tuna fish at this place that they
Yeah.
bring on the I don't like how they put, because they have like all those meats and they have like a 3-bean salad and they have salami. They had a hot supersada.
A good tortellini.
They put a creamy tortellini and a mayonnaise tuna fish like just on everything else. So like you can't, like the dry supersada's got like mayo on and like there's juices flowing around the other foods that shouldn't that
First
don't.
off,
Yeah, I mean the chemistry of it. If you're thinking you're mixing different, flavors and sauces, and I get it, but at the same time, they all tasted well.
They tasted well.
They tasted
They all
they did
tasted very well.
very well. Very
I've
well.
had that same thing for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
They haven't really changed it up that much. So
No.
I'm like kind of used to it.
Yeah, and then you got to learn to lean in,
Right.
because that's
you just
what I
enjoy
did the
it.
thing with the provolone and the sopressade and the salami. And you put the tuna in that. You want
Right.
to throw a tortellini in to get fancy. Then
Right.
you wrap it, and it's a little
See,
nice something.
I will say because
Yeah, I did like that
If you don't- if you're one of those-
arrangement you
It's a
had
good
going.
move.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who doesn't like their food touching, you're weak.
that's him. He
No,
does not,
no, that's not it. No. I don't care about my food. In fact, most of the time these days, I mix all the food together.
like in a dog's bowl.
Right. My routine, my regimen is the order of operations. It could be touching. Oh, if I'm eating like a breakfast food, like a scramble, I'll mix everything together. But everything else,
So if you have, let's say you have on your plate a steak, mashed potatoes, and string beans. What are you doing?
I go string bean first.
All of them.
Get that out of the way.
Yeah, get
Just
the
get it
vegetable
out
out of the way.
of the way. Yeah, for sure.
Then I'll have only a little mashed potato just for fresh taste.
Yeah.
I'll probably I
To
wouldn't
rate
have
the mashed potatoes, to
wouldn't-
understand how good these mashed potatoes stand on their own.
right.
Yeah.
And then steak. I always save the best or my favorite, whatever's my favorite on the plate. I say that for last, unless it's a plate of like shitty foods that I really like and something healthy. Then I'll eat the healthy thing first, because if I'm gonna get full, I'd rather get full on the healthy stuff
That's how I do it. Like if I have like
than go
like
around.
like if I get like a dinner from like an Italian place to live and I have like a chicken parm like dinner and then a salad and a pasta, I'll do salad, chicken parm, and then like if I'm still any kind of hungry, I'll have like a little bit of the pasta just to kind of cap it off. But yeah, it's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart.
I got like a touch of OCD when it comes to this stuff because I am
Because of a food touching
proportion guy.
Okay.
No, I don't give a shit. It's going in the same place.
Yeah. Well, you
So-
made that little antipasto sandwich, so
Exactly. And to me, I like sandwiches because it's proportions preset. I don't have to worry about this. But when it's a full plate and I'm like, all right, I even when I have like cream spinach with a steak and taters, whatever, I got to get a little bit of everything on every bite. And I really like that.
yeah.
And I got to navigate appropriately. Like I'll eat a little bit more of the potatoes or a little more of the spinach just so that I know I can finish all together.
See, I love the mixture of flavors, which is one of 17 reasons why I've been fat my entire life, is because I would always take whatever was on the table. And if there was also bread, I made everything into a sandwich, which I did. I did a little, it was a little vintage sticks last night is I took the provolone and some of the
you almost
and I took one of because they have like different kinds of the bread in the basket. I took the one that had like, it looked like baked on cheese, like the one
Like a focaccia.
like a focaccia.
Yeah, yeah.
And I took just the top half of the focaccia and then I put everything on it and then I made a little.
That was you who did that.
Yeah, it was almost a full, like a Nikki relapse.
Yeah.
Because it's a
We almost
dangerous.
lost them.
It's a dangerous game. That's probably why you did it with me around.
Because you'll keep me in check.
if he's doing that at home alone, the snowball tumbles real quickly down the hill.
Down the hill. And then
the next thing you know, you're doubling down on. You got 2 Big Macs on top of each other, and you're washing it down with I don't know,
chicken.
pizza.
With a
with
chicken.
chicken,
Yeah.
the whole chicken,
Yeah,
bones and all.
the roasted chicken.
But so I did a little vintage sandwich making, but that I would do that literally with if I have the sauce left in the bowl, like from the macaroni, and I have a few noodles and like a piece of meatball, scoop it up, all going on the bread.
That was a problem I had last night. I got frustrated for Johnny because Johnny was sitting there with his pasta done, but all the sauce, the marinara in there. And a guy came over to take the bread off the table. It's like, oh, whoa.
I tried to be. I was just like, no, sir.
And you tipped them well. They should
You
know
were
that.
more polite. You were more polite than me because as I was standing saying hi to somebody, I don't know if you can curse on the show.
Sure, you can. No
Not
holds
a
barred,
family
baby.
show anymore.
This fucking guy.
Sorry, Terrence.
I'm talking
Family
to these people over here. This guy sneaks his hand in, takes my plate. I had a piece of bread that was half eaten. You could tell what I was doing, right? There with all the tomato sauce. Like I already got it to the one end of the bowl.
Yeah,
right
it's very obvious.
There was the last bite, the best bite,
Ooh, yeah.
right there.
Waiting.
Somebody tapped me and I had to say hello. And then as soon as I look, this guy's it's already gone. And when he has it in his hand, the people who were talking over here, like you can't be like, relax, like put it back.
Hold that door.
Yeah, because then you create a situation.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, this guy's nuts.
Right.
You're gonna be like, it's fine.
Right, and then we were
it's
there on your father's invite, so we got to keep up sort of
Exactly.
appearances.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
But you know what? He would have understood.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't have been. He would, yeah. But
Gravy and bread is I think one of the best foods. That's not like it's not like a dish. It
is to me.
but like no one sells
how-
gravy sandwiches. But we used to always eat gravy sandwiches at like Sunday
Big
when
Margaret.
mom's like making
Sunday
the
gravy.
Sunday gravy. Well, we're eating at 2. I had breakfast at 8, but by 11 I gotta do something.
You got to prime the pump, if you will.
So I would get the whole wheat Italian bread and just full on thick gravy sandwich.
Yeah, like a triple decker for you.
Oh yeah, you had to.
No, but I was trying to be nice to the guy. Here's what was going on in my head. At first, it was immediate, like, okay, this guy doesn't understand what's going on here, so I'll be nice. Then I was right after that, I was like, wait a second. This guy has to know that, like, Italian Americans, that's the go-to spot. That particular, like, I don't know what you call it, not convention hall, but catering hall is the spot in this area for anything Italian American stereotypical shit. That's there. That's the hub, essentially, for whatever reason.
You got to do their commercial, man.
I know.
Beautiful.
So then I was like, wait a second. This fucking guy should know that when this is not a complete meal. I didn't do my sponge job.
Yeah.
But then I was like, wait a second. I'm not here for me.
I'm a guest.
Yes, I'm here for
I'm here for Big Lou.
the greater Italian good.
and the Woodbridge white wine.
Right.
Yes.
So I dialed it back in and I try to maintain a professionalism and customs courtesies, if you will. And I was able to finish that off.
Can I ask? I don't want to keep harping on this, but
we got it. You donated the most money to the charity. Get
over it. Come on.
God.
Why
Oh my
Take
god.
the
do
record
they
off.
have?
I'm sure if you text Crusher, he'll give you his number. I don't think it's.
I think he'll like you.
He's
You're a
been
likable
chasing me.
guy.
He's been chasing me.
You're a really nice guy.
He posted a
Just-
run video yesterday, and then he posted a story with his sweatshirt that says "Acknowledge me." He's just looking for my
Date
attention.
me.
He
First off,
loved me.
those nipples were hard.
Yeah,
We
They
can
were
all
very
agree.
hard.
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
We
he's
saw
he's
that.
he's ready for it. He's ready for it. But
The double team up the turnbuckle.
the antipasto is like it's a pretty standard. It's a good one, and it's a pretty standard one. And I know that you enjoy the tortellini and the tuna
Everything
fish,
on it.
which is it's tasty. But my question is again, that's not something you ever see on an antipasto platter. Like you
The
never
tuna.
see the tuna. You never see tuna on a only at this place.
I'm sorry. It's just ingrained
Because you've been
in
to
me
this place so much that- yeah.
Because I've been there so much that like it's not foreign, but I can
Yeah.
appreciate where you're coming from. Like the tuna though.
Yeah,
but
Did I turn into Jerry Seinfeld?
But-
The tuna though.
What's the deal?
What's the deal with tuna other than antipasto?
the juices we're getting on the tuna.
My supersado was soaking wet.
Honestly, it's I completely appreciate where you're
Yeah.
coming from, but I bet you that the next
But
time
drop
you go
it.
there, but shut up. No. But
Don't
the next
ruin this
time
for
you
us.
go, You're not. It's not even gonna be a thing. Like
No, I've been there enough. Like I was
get from
expecting
the
it. I was
first time,
expecting it.
But like the second time you go, it's gonna be like, yeah, this is the antipasto platter.
Here's
And
what
it's got
I
all
want to
Speaking
that
of
know.
on it.
expectations, can we talk about what was expected, or is that going to give too much info away?
Yeah, we can't talk about what was
Okay.
expected. We're trying to keep this anonymous
Yeah.
for the protection of friends and family.
What about the special guest?
No, that's a giveaway too.
Yeah, well,
I
I,
don't
mean,
think so.
yeah,
dead ringer. Yeah.
it
dead
is.
ringer. But
Yeah.
let's just say it was a blast from the past. that
Nobody
keeps
on the-
blasting for us, right? Every
Nobody,
year, we
nobody
get
on the
blast.
show will know who that is.
Same jokes and everything.
Yeah, there might be maybe Dom Delapia will be the only one
No,
who
but
knew
see,
who
Dom
that is.
Delapina is the kind of guy who's going to rat us out to the union. So I
Quick-
don't trust him.
Exactly.
Quick
We don't
update.
need that.
Speaking
You
of
guys are already saying too much.
real quick, speaking of Dom Delapia, speaking of Dom, you guys might not appreciate this as much, but I got some corroborated intel, if you will. I have it on high authority that a family member in the Delapia family is a legitimate leader in a local union
Of course.
in New York.
Of course they are.
I don't.
Of course
It's
the
a lower
Delapina-
level. It's like a local, chapter in a borough up in New York State, but I don't know what it is. But he told me, because we were obviously making the assessment that he might be as well, and he said one of those, like, he was doing the Christopher Walken in Joe Dirt, where he's like, not me, that's the guy. And he's like, not me, but my family member, he's in the union.
Dom Delapia is just that guy. He's got. Are we pausing it or?
No, keep going.
Dom Delapia would have fit in last night.
You think so? He would have, but he would not have dressed for the, like, he would
He would
not.
have dressed up
He's,
like the
no,
rest of them.
he would show up unassuming.
Missed
but-
the mark.
Yeah. But yeah, the
Every-
people.
Everyone
I can't
there,
even get my words.
they all looked like the kind of people that, like, if they had seen James Gandolfini in a restaurant, instead of being like, "Oh God," they would have been like, "Oh, I could be in your show. Like, I could do your show, but I know these guys. I could do the show."
Yeah, here's what I think they all looked like, and this is every age group in that event last
Oh
night.
yeah, from 20
Guys
to,
our
to
age
80.
up. Yeah, there was two things that I thought, like, this is, again, you can disagree with me or not. I thought either they were all coming from the movie theater of the Sopranos new movie and you know how, like, some people when they go to movies like Marvel movies, they'll dress like Captain America or something.
Yeah, these guys are all.
These are all dressing like characters, or they all came from an audition for, like, the next movie or another mob movie or mob TV show, because they all looked like they were dressed as if they were trying to look like mobsters, but they were all that's how they are.
But,
they
let's
all
just-
look like they're just all characters, all caricatures, just
Yeah.
like Big Time Tommy. All of them. That's what they all.
Let's
looked
just
like.
say it was not. They were not like dressed in like suits. It wasn't like 50s mob. It was
One guy. We'll talk about him in a second.
It was like business casual attire, but like if you're Uncle Tony that like comes to like your house like for Sunday, after church, what he would wear to your house on Sunday is exactly what these
There's a
people.
lot of loafers.
Yeah, a lot of loafers.
There weren't shoelaces to be seen.
A lot of sweaters, like a lot of 90s sweaters.
Yeah, or turtlenecks or mock turtles.
mock turtles. Not even real turtles.
You don't even know if you don't know though. How do you know if it was a mock or not?
I don't. I actually asked him to explain this to me. What is the difference between a mock turtleneck and a real turtleneck?
A mock is just like an extended collar.
Correct.
A full turtle is a thickie.
So when I think
maybe it might be like a measurement issue. Like a mock is only an inch, and a turtle is more than an inch.
But it's weird that they call it a mock. Like it's not like it's fake. It's pretending.
It's not a full
just
turtle.
But it's just a little bit less.
I could be today years old, but do you know when Zach Galifianakis was in that one movie and he literally wore like it was a
Dinner for
turtleneck?
Schmucks.
Was it it was a turtleneck where it was just a cutout?
That's a dickie. That's called a
It's a
dickie.
dickie.
Okay, so
Cousin Eddie wore that in Christmas Vacation.
yes, he
National
did.
Lampoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
It's a
Yes.
dickie.
Yeah, okay, I remember
And apparently that was a thing. The style in a certain era, maybe 70s, 80s, was the turtleneck style with like a blazer or a sweater, but people didn't want to wear a full turtle. So they went with some genius living in the future decided, why don't I just sell the neck portion?
that. Yeah, while he's at it, we'll do a pet rock.
Right. Yeah. I'll make chia bets. Yeah. This is all the same guy.
Yeah,
The pet rock is a genius idea.
yeah.
I think the only thing better is, I don't know if you guys have seen this recently. Of course, an Italian guy. He's a self-proclaimed artist, a painter, and he sold a painting for $10,000. Okay, one of his own originals
Okay.
called The Invisible Painting.
It's nothing.
It's just an easel.
God.
And somebody bought it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know the actual outcome. I don't know if the guy actually got the easel and was like, wait, this is a scam, or what the deal was. I just saw that initial story. I didn't do any sort of further recon on it.
Here's a weird thing: is in this day and age with like viralism and social media and everything, that easel, once it was on the news or on social media that guy did it, that easel became worth $10,000 because like, I have the easel. Remember that story with the guy?
Yeah.
Like, just put an easel. It's now like when the guy put like a banana on the wall, like the MoMA. And people were like, "What?" Like they thought it was real
They
art.
taped a banana to the wall.
Yeah, they thought it was like real art. That banana actually became the banana from that story.
Because people are
Idiots.
stupid.
Yeah.
So
with
that
all
one-
due respect.
There was a.
But
there
it was
a-
Emperor's
there
New
was a-
Clothes.
Can't do that.
It was a sculpture, and they literally had the sculpture, and then they interviewed the artist, and he literally straight faced talked about the sculpture that didn't exist that he sold for X number of dollars. But just only recently there was a painting, or there was an art
Keep
exhibit.
that up there. Yeah.
There was an art exhibit.
Yeah.
Somebody had like I don't know how many, like it was like, I don't know, it was like 80 grand or whatever. They were paid to like put their art up in this exhibit. This was literally like last week. And then everything was blank. And it was something like along the lines of like, take the money and run. Like, and the artist literally was like, thanks, and it was just a bunch of blank things. And then they're like, what the hell? And then they're like, that was the exhibit.
Told you, this is art.
Bye.
A ton of publicity. It's been everywhere. And like these people, people are like, I hate that guy, but like, wow, that's awesome.
That's the I guess I'm torn about it. That's the thing is, like, I'm not even mad at the guy doing it,
Right.
because there are people that are just going to get suckered in. There's a reason why con artists are still out there.
Which, yeah, and it reaches this point too where I'm gonna get artsy because I went to an art school,
So I can take a pee right now.
so I've been there.
Yeah. So we'll just stop recording.
So, like, the art school thing is that, to subvert the culture of whatever it is as accepted as art. We've had these conversations many times
Yeah.
because, like, modern art leverages and hangs on a lot of these concepts. It's just that, where is the meaning of art? Is it in the artist's intention, or is it in the feeling that it evokes from the watcher, listener, viewer, whoever it may be? And so these types of things were like face value, Phil Collins. You just look at it and you're like,
That's an artist.
I don't get
I
it.
don't get it.
That's a garbage can.
Once
I
there was
can
a
do this.
transition,
Right.
I feel like in the era of Picasso or a Jackson Pollock, where they still had the artistic talent, but it became much more philosophical of why it was good art. I feel like that was the death knell for art, like as we knew it before, because now it's much more about thinking about the piece than somebody just like doing a
Correct.
great piece. I feel like that once, and in the beginning it was fun. Like Picasso's are very abstract
But
and
those
weird.
are the people who open the door.
They
for
opened the
these
door,
things.
and then it just went to like even Jackson Pollock. I'm not a big fan of because like I don't Andy Warhol I like, but Jackson Pollock like
I can tangibly tell you though.
Which
like,
one's Pollock?
he's
Warhol
the one who
is
just
a-
like it just splatters. Like he just
and-
put the paintbrushes in the
that's-
thing and just
like-
went like that.
Yeah, but
that's-
there's sometimes though, like especially when he does it on large scale. If you see like a large scale Pollock here, just to me, I can communicate it. It's just a more of a matter of fact of like looking at it, you're like, it's just very interesting to look at
Cool
because
look,
any
yeah.
section you look
So-
at, it has different colors, and there was an element to it when it came to Pollock and the people you're talking about, more of like the modern and postmodern art, where you look at it, and it's more about you cannot recreate exactly that. Like anyone could draw a bowl of fruit and get pretty damn
Yeah,
close.
people
But
can
it's-
easily now draw
But
the
there
Mona
was-
Lisa.
there's like
Splatter is-
performance aspect to it, and then there's artists that use different things to make their paint so that it becomes what it is.
one of a one-time thing.
Exactly.
My issue is people can like whatever they want. That's awesome. Like you might think that like a painting is good and I might think it sucked. That's
Right.
That's fine. But where did it like there has to be a person that offered up the big time paycheck for that painting that started this craze of like, oh, now Pollock is a super renowned artist and everything he does goes for millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars.
yeah.
Well, who started that off? And why aren't we shit talking that person?
because it
why
came-
couldn't you
it-
just
I-
offer
it
up
came
$10
around
for
'cause,
the
like,
damn painting?
I
in
think
the
mostly it was
60s, I want to say
posthumously, though.
I want to say it was posthumous for. I mean, even Van Gogh is like it was very much later.
Yeah, but that's how it's been.
for a lot of the
Most of them,
like
yeah.
the postmodern guys, a lot of it was like this underground art that became like chic, in Soho and everything. And then once you kind of got the rich wanting to move more into the bohemian sector, and they're like, oh yeah, you must have this piece. This guy like lives in a dumpster and he only paints once every 6 months. And
he uses
they would
his
just
wiener.
pay. They would pay for it, and then
Yeah.
once they pay $100,000 for it, 3 years later, it's gonna be worth more because that's just
Well,
how.
here's-
Well, because now it's like this is a painting that Tom Brady owned or whatever
Yeah,
it
whatever
is.
it is.
Right, there's history involved, and let us not forget from like purely an economical standpoint, value is what someone will pay.
Right. That's
And when it comes
too.
to art, that's a very
Yeah,
tricky
and-
concept to apply because, all right, you had that. What was his name? The sheik who bought the supposedly Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, they're not sure if it's real.
They're not
It's
sure.
been
It's-
like verified, kind of, but like not really.
Right, it's
Yeah,
like
I heard
it's
about
supposed to
that.
be like the brother or sister portrait
of Mona
to
Lisa.
the Mona,
The Mona
Lisa,
Lisa, yeah.
and it's like sitting on a yacht somewhere. Was it Mohammed bin Salam who bought
I
it?
don't know any of those.
It
guys.
was crazy.
A couple millions of dollars.
250. I mean,
Oh,
we're
that-
talking about like tickling.
for a boat painting.
Wait,
Yeah.
is that the
For a
paint?
boat-
Is that
boat
the
for a
painting.
painting.
Wait. Is that the painting that like was painted over a bunch of times
exactly and they
by
found
other
it.
people, and then they're like, "Wait a second, this is layered. We gotta," and it took them decades to like effectively clear through, and they're like, "Wait this could be
This
a Da
could
Vinci."
be the same
And this
time
Sultan
period.
of SWAT was like, I
Sultan of
want it.
SWAT.
Okay,
Babe Ruth.
I want it, and I'm going to put it on my boat.
Yeah.
And
a
like,
boat
there were
that-
people in the art community who were like, "How can we like almost like a humanitarian effort?
How can we
like,
let this go to
how
him?
could-
Yeah.
We can't let him keep it on a boat, like the salt air and all the things that could
I-
degrade the
I
painting."
think he got it taken care of. I think
Yeah.
he probably
I mean,
has
it's
it hermetically sealed.
apparently
Yeah,
hermetically sealed and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But
Would you, if
And
you
like
had a lot
somebody
of money,
reminded the art community that there are like actual issues going on in the world.
Yeah, like, hey guys,
Oh yeah, by the way,
I hate to break
no,
it to
they
you.
don't. No, see, they don't care about the actual issues, but they're gonna paint about them.
The art behind
to
the
sell their
issues. Yeah.
painting. Like that's what they're gonna. That is my last point on it. Is that if you are smart enough, you can literally do nonsense and then just trick the art community. Like the art community, I feel like is gullible. If you have a little bit of understanding of philosophy and human nature, you can connect whatever you do to this is all about my childhood and notice like this. Because I was even thinking about the Jackson Pollock thing. I'm like, oh, kind of like the chaos and the natural formation of how he did it. Like everything just came naturally. Like this is what
In that one
this is what
moment.
physics made.
Yeah, if you're a good
painting
marketer,
through, like
like,
gravity. And I just thought of that, and I'm an idiot. So I can imagine if you have an understanding of philosophy and psychology and the like human nature, you could just trick people into buying into your nonsense.
Speaking of,
And there it is.
Well,
And
while
I'm done.
I mean, I
It's
don't disagree. I think there's other aspects in play because there are smart people that just like something that you don't.
Yeah.
I think a
Right.
lot of the art that's going for millions of dollars, like, sucks. I just don't like it. But doesn't mean.
Right.
But it kind of goes into what, like, there is that debate of, is this a con game or is this just somebody's personal perspective and what they value?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of both.
yeah.
Well, then where do you fall on the NFT game, right? Because like
Similar.
like a cartoon rock,
Yeah.
right, sells for like $20 million.
I still, honestly, and we don't have to explain it, but I still don't really understand what the tokens are. I still don't really get it.
What's-
But I also don't really get the stock market either.
like
Right.
Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Yeah.
What are you talking
Isn't it
about?
called? It's like
Charles
non-
Entertainment Cheese.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Or you're talking about NFTs?
NFTs.
Not-
Non-fungible tokens.
non-fudgy tokens.
It's a way that
fungible.
Yeah, there's
it's,
no
it's a
fudge.
very poor
None of it.
attempt that people are making to have a currency
Commodity, if you
a
will.
commodity actually that connects to something that is not a physical thing that you can hang up on your wall or something like
And
Like
that.
look,
a
a ton of
memory, almost
people-
like a memory.
And a ton of people
sometimes.
made a ton of money, right? In the crypto world, that like NFTs kind of made sense. Where do you park that money? Well, you're not gonna if you're not gonna buy real art, you're gonna buy NFTs.
So
if
it's
you
like
think the
if you-
blockchain technology
If you own
is
a
enough to
crap
exist,
ton of like cryptocurrency,
You
instead
believe
of
in all that.
investing in like the Mona Lisa, you invest in
And then
the original meme or whatever
the
it is.
original meme
Yeah.
of the like success
Right.
kid.
Yeah, that's the same.
Right.
Like, I now
Right.
oh, you just own that kid who lives in your house.
Right. You
Put 'em on
own
the
that
boat.
clip. You own, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know Portnoy at Barstool auctioned off for charity a one clip of one of his pizza reviews. And it sold for like maybe 100,000, 160,000.
But now does that
whatever.
clip like it's
Now
not
that
on
guy-
YouTube or
It is. No,
No,
can
it
still be-
is. It is.
So then what do
But
you own?
that
Own that clip.
I don't
Yeah.
want to go down this
So
rabbit
I
hole.
don't
I'm an
know.
idiot.
And again, I don't know if that guy who got it now owns like every time that clip is viewed on
Yeah, like,
YouTube, he gets the
do you
he
make
gets the
money
revenue
off of
that.
it
I don't know
now?
how that works, the ins and outs, but I think there's probably something involving that a little bit.
So Louis, correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's almost like a quasi 21st century copyright type situation where
I
there
don't-
is.
I don't even know that far down the line.
Okay.
So I just know people have been buying NFTs. In my mind, you only buy those NFTs like the cartoon rock to own it, and then
Bragging
maybe
rights.
I'm assuming you could eventually sell it, and you hope to sell it for more money
For more, yeah.
because there's no reason like the only argument for art is that sometimes you can see a piece of art and be really touched by it. And you're like, oh, I want to hang that in my home, and then you can look at it. But if you have a cartoon rock, you're not hanging that.
You're
you know?
not getting that for the art value.
Exactly. So you're
Right,
clearly
right.
holding on to it.
But I
and then,
wonder copyright. I mean, this would be a good episode for Sausage and Peppers because I wonder if copyright law. Well, isn't there like an amount of time where things just become part of like the public domain?
yeah,
'cause, like, if-
there's
if
an
I-
expiration period before it becomes public.
If
Right.
I own, let's say they discover tomorrow in a hidden basement somewhere a brand new Van Gogh, and I just buy it, but it's mine now.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to like put pictures in a Van Gogh book or put pictures of it online or whatever, do I get money for that? Like, can I copyright because I own this art and you're doing something like? Is
That's
that
a great question.
Yeah,
I
That's a
actually
phenomenal
don't know.
Yeah, that's.
I think
that's a
it
good
might be in some
copyright
sort of
question.
in the agreement you sign when you
Right.
purchase the piece. I don't know.
But I also think that the copyright laws have changed. Like,
Right.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
saying it as someone who knows nothing about it, but I think it changed.
They
though.
change. I think they
because-
changed, and I think Disney had a big thing.
they're in a fight now? They're in
influence
court
on
right
that.
now because there was a law that passed a little while ago that after X amount of time, certain comic book characters, the rights are actually reverting back to the creators and not to the company that hired the creators.
Yeah.
So they're actually in court right now, I think, fighting for Spider-Man, like Wolverine, and like two other ones like because Stan Lee's family is in court right now
to try and capture them back.
Here's the thing: if I was the family, I'd be like, listen, I'm not going to try to do a whole legal dispute with you. Give me $5 million every time you make a movie with this, and we'll you can
or
use
just put in points. Like,
give me. I want 2% of whatever you do with it, and you can use it for whatever you want.
Exactly.
Just like the
always
Batman
better.
guy. Remember I told you the story about the guy with Batman?
Bruce Wayne.
Yes,
He was already a billionaire though.
Yeah, he was.
That's not what, okay.
His parents.
No,
his
there
parents
was
are dead. You know.
There was a guy I heard it on another podcast. There was a guy who in the 70s, he was like one of the first people to try to bring comic books to the mainstream in terms of like a philosophical level, and like taught one of the first college courses on like the meaning behind comic books. And then he becomes famous for doing that as like a college kid, gets a job writing for DC, like low level stuff, convinces them that like, oh, Batman is a character like you could make a good movie out of. The Superman movie just came out. And then him and his buddy, whose dad was a producer, this is in the 70s, bought the film rights to Batman, and they still own it. And they license out Batman back to Warner Brothers, and he has an executive producer credit on every animated and live action, every Batman movie made since the 70s.
So he just essentially became like a Bruce Wayne. He became like a billionaire.
And he doesn't need to look over the script. Like his big deal that the one guy worked really hard on was the first one, the Tim Burton one. But after that, he just like
did a good job on that one.
He can like create an issue if he wanted to, and like, oh, I don't like the script or whatever. He does it, but he just gets his like whatever percent, probably like 1.5-2% of every Batman, all the animated movies that came out, anything with a theatrical release. Or maybe even the straight to age, anything that's not a TV show, anything that's a feature length film involving Batman. The Justice League, he got executive producer credit on, and it's just like some guy, just some dude.
Saw the writing on the wall. He's like, "This is a compelling character that they're going to make movies about."
He also
let's do it.
He spearheaded the Swamp Thing movie that I want to say John Carpenter did. No, Wes Craven did a Swamp Thing movie in the 80s.
I think it was early 90s.
Might have been early 90s.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
Yeah, and this guy, that's just that him and this producer guy who died, now the producer's son owns it. It's owned like 2%.
At the end of that movie, the bad guy, they're like doing the credits of Swamp Thing, and the bad guy like is standing there, and all of a sudden Swamp Thing or somebody walks by him and drops like a grenade in his clothes, in his shirt, and he says something like, "Oh shit," and then it just cuts out. That's all I remember from that movie.
Nice.
Yeah. But I'm going to circle this back to compelling characters. The dinner. We got to talk about some of these characters at the dinner. And then we're not going to identify names.
Yeah.
But because I don't know.
To protect the guilty.
I don't know any of their names. I mean, Gino, there's probably a ton of Tonys there.
There was a slew of Tonys.
The one guy.
Is it a gaggle? Is that what
A gaggle of Genos.
Oh yeah, it was a gaggle. I mean, Genos.
There
Gino
was-
Felinos were everywhere.
Gino Felinos.
The one guy I want to talk about real quick is the turtleneck guy. Do you remember?
We talking about like Cologne ad turtleneck guy.
Yeah,
the
turtleneck.
Carnivore guy.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't know who he was, but man,
That's what I was going to ask you first. Do you guys know?
no,
Because I know you run in those circles because of your old man.
You're running those Italian circles.
Yeah.
dude.
But
The Italian circle's not perfect.
Nah,
It's a little longer than most, but
it's a little sloppy.
right.
Yeah.
So he walks in. Now, mind you, we're running the full gamut of like attire. People are dressed nice. There's people who are not dressed nice.
correct.
There's a lot of Ginzo stereotypes of like what they were wearing, like button down, short sleeve, silk shirts tucked in so they could show off muscles, and slick back hair and chains over their clothes so that you can see all their accoutrement, if you will.
I'm a fan of the jeans with dress shoes and then a blue button up over the jeans, and then it has like the big cuffs that you roll back.
Yeah,
but
big,
they're like
a
they're
Burberry cuff.
yeah,
that
they're
has a
like
different-
really big cuffs, and then they had just adorned in gold.
Like
yeah,
the cuffs that, like they're like this wide,
Yeah, it's like huge
Right.
cuff, and they're only
big French
only
cuffs.
like two folds, and you're
Yeah.
at the elbow.
yeah, but they're not filled. That like when I pull a shirt like this, like I like to go up to my elbow. These are just one fold.
So you know how much I spent on a white dress shirt. That's all that is.
Yeah, because it shows like the Burberry design.
This is
or
a
whatever it is.
$250 dress shirt, and I want everyone here to know
exactly that. Yeah, this guy rolls in. He's wearing like the design on it wasn't polyester, but it was like a different style, a different kind of fabric. Might have been polyester.
Cashmere.
Yeah, it could have been.
Could have been a cashmere.
It could have been a cashmere.
The design was very similar to a couch I have at home from like the 80s like pattern and a beige champagne kind of color.
But we're gonna say beige. We're not gonna call it champagne.
No, he was calling it.
He was calling it champagne
for sure.
that was tan and beige.
White Ferrari.
Right. Then he has a matching champagne turtleneck on. That could have very well have been cashmere.
Correct.
See, I don't like matching that much. I like to match alternating things. So if I have like I don't like doing blue shirt, blue tie, blue suit. Like that's too much blue for me.
The only time I like to match is if it's all black to express my rage.
Like
what are you a fucking
Like
DJ
me on the golf course?
Yeah, civilian here.
You a DJ for quinceañera? You're gonna wear all black
for a bar mitzvah.
But like I don't like if I'm wearing gray pants, I was not wearing a gray t-shirt with this. Like there's too much gray. Like I don't like
people. I mean, that's
much.
a thing these days. Is like same.
Yeah.
He did have I will say he had a nice beard to haircut fade. It was like it faded out of the haircut into the beard.
Yeah, so it got thinner, like nothing, and then thicker. Like it was done really. That's a style job.
That was an hourglass head.
Yeah,
but he totally didn't tell his barber. By the way, I'm gonna wear a turtleneck with this later.
No, he did not.
Because his barber would have just killed him.
Right?
Like, no, you're not gonna, I'm gonna shave the beard.
And something that was interesting about him, and I think I was telling you, Pistol, about it, and even you too, Sticks, later on. The expression that he walked into the venue with was very distinct, and it reminded me of. So let's rewind the clock a little bit. Back when I was in junior high, middle school days, 6th, 7th, 8th grade or whatever.
This is post the Killer Peepees.
This is the height of the peepees.
This is the height of his bicycle gang.
Of our bicycle gang, the Killer Peepees. Yes. Most of the stuff that I liked, like movies wise, were older, 80s action, My Cousin Vinny type movies, Godfather, of course. And I would try to dress like those guys, like they were adults, like adult men dressing a certain way, and the way that they carried themselves and how people reacted to them. I wanted that to be me. The only thing I can control, which I didn't know, was how I looked and how I felt about myself going out the door to public. I didn't realize that that didn't mean automatically women would be flocking to me and I would become cool. Like that's a uncontrollable thing that I wasn't tracking at the time. I would dress up like who I thought was awesome, like some Al Pacino character or whatever. And again, an adult who dresses like that.
An adult from 15 years before you were dressing.
Way too many leather blazers.
Yeah. And I would be looking in the mirror in my own little vacuum of like confidence, like, you nailed this My Cousin Vinny look, or you look just like Chaz Palminteri does. Right. Like you're crushing it and you're going to slay out there.
At the bar mitzvah.
Yeah. And I would go out and I would come and I would actually get to society and I look around and the way people are looking at me, I walked into like the trenches. I was just like, I completely misread the situation.
Fucked up.
I have made a huge mistake.
Miscalculation here.
And every time I did that, I would feel awkward and self-conscious the entire, like if I went to a school dance, I would just be walking around very self-conscious. Like I felt cool until I left, until I got in here, and now I feel like a fucking schfook. Like
he shows up to baseball practice in a leather duster.
Yeah.
The one thing that we didn't even talk about last night when you mentioned this to me is that like your parents let you walk out with it, and maybe it's some
no, you know what?
Them.
Fuck them. They dressed us worse than we ever dressed ourselves.
We used to dress
really?
in
No, this is
Olympic
sweatsuits,
dude. And stuff.
I passed out in a Macy's. when
And
I
a
was
white
like
on white.
6. We were doing our holiday card pictures, just the 3 of us kids. It was 1,000 degrees in there, and we were in white on white, like heavy champion sweatsuits,
Like crew
with
neck
gold
sweatshirt,
chains, with a gold,
sweatpants,
with
and a gold
our communion or our
communion
baptism
chains.
necklaces.
Yeah.
And I passed out.
Are there photos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can I see them?
Do I need to
I'll
get like
call
the
my mom.
1996 Libretti holiday card?
I
Is
want
that
to
what
Oh,
it
see
you
it
should-
so
The
bad.
96 holiday card was us wearing the
Tracksuits?
the Atlanta Olympics tracksuits that my mom got from like a cereal box. You get the imitation
Oh, they were
version.
Fila?
I don't know what they were. They
That
weren't
sounds
Fila,
limited
no.
edition.
Yeah, it
I've
was.
never heard. Yeah.
It was just addition.
So they didn't care. Like if I walked out looking like Bob De Niro from Heat or something, they didn't care.
Yeah.
Like
They were just
they
like,
would
"Go ahead."
dress us the same, but like I was 6 and he was like 9, and we were in the same like white Dalmatians, like the 101 Dalmatians, like
That was a
sweatshirt.
homemade sweatshirt though.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Aunt Natalie made that. God rest her soul.
Oh, that was an Aunt Natalie.
Yeah, she
job?
made a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah,
our
I mean,
sweatshirts.
yeah,
So I was okay
I'd
with
wear
that.
that to my wedding.
Yeah, yeah,
Aunt Natalie was insane.
She is, yeah. So I would walk out looking like this jabroni, and I felt it. And the look I saw on that guy's face, that's the look I had.
Like, I know you, dude.
And I know, yeah, as soon as I saw him, the way he was looking around, like seeing if people were looking at him, and not in the confident way, because when you're confident, you think you nail it, and you're walking out there with like all, cocky or whatever. You're not looking to see who's looking at you. You just think everyone's like, all eyes are on me, baby. I'm the center of attention. I nailed this look. He was looking around like, are people looking and talking about how I look right now, how I'm dressed?
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, I know what you're going through, my friend.
I'm still gonna make
I've
fun of you
been
for
there.
it, but like,
Yeah, I'm gonna
feel
rip
that.
you to shreds internally, but I also, ultimately empathize with your
he
situation.
really, we called it last night. He looked like a model in like a European magazine for like Dracar Noir cologne.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you pull out the
6
page
years ago.
to like rub on
Exactly.
yourself,
Yeah.
to like make
Yep.
to
Well,
make
that's
smell
what
nice.
I used to do. I would look at stuff like in a magazine and be like, yeah, I want to match that look. That's
But it was an
exactly
old
how-
magazine in the bathroom.
Yeah, it was an old like a meatball magazine. Like this is
Meatball
This is the
Monthly.
right
yeah,
way.
meatball monthly. Yeah. So it was just a different look, but that's exactly what he did. Even the belt was like, I don't know if it was Gucci or something, but it was a big belt buckle, like a
Had a big
design.
buckle.
He had the
Pretty sure it was
shoes that
Gucci.
were
You're
it
It's
could have been,
definitely
yeah.
Gucci,
He was wearing those nice dress shoes that are at least $200 a pair, that were no laces, a very extravagant buckle situation on those as well.
Mhm.
He was.
I will say,
I felt bad for him because I knew like what he was feeling. I didn't feel bad for the look. You did that. You did that to
You
yourself.
made these choices.
Right, but I did feel bad because now it's like I wish if he came in confident, I would have been like, cool, he did it.
He
Nailed
got
it.
it.
He
Fucking
felt
nailed
bad
it.
about himself, and that's what I felt bad for.
It's like a guy who buys a really expensive watch and he thinks, I own this really expensive watch. So now everyone here knows how much money I spent on this watch and they're going to love me for this watch.
Right.
And then you realize nobody gives a shit. No one cares about what watch you're wearing.
Right.
And he's just realizing, oh my God, like I had to oh God, that's a second mortgage on my home for this watch.
For nothing. Yeah.
And
for
no
nothing.
one cares.
I got it for the
outside of
wrong
close
reason.
friends, and I've been at like meetings and like in Vegas, at parties for like the cigar industry, and people wearing like Hublots and like the only time I've ever asked somebody about their watch is like if one of you two like bought, like I don't just ask random people I meet in a thing like, oh, it's a nice watch, because I also kind of feel like it's kind of rude. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like it's not.
I don't
That's
think
what
I don't
they're
think it's
wearing
I
it
don't
for.
think it's rude at all. They're
Well,
wearing
you're
it.
into the watch community, so you know
no.
better.
There's also when I was at Ernst and Young for a few years, I was a staff, and there was another staff consultant who was wearing a Rolex,
Uh-huh.
and we're on site, we're on client site, and to me, like, there's arguments for and against, but I was on the side of you don't do that because they're paying for you. And if you're wearing a Rolex, it just sends the wrong message. And
Right.
starts
At
wearing
your
a Rolex.
level, yeah. If you have a meeting with the CEO,
If you're a partner, and you're wearing a Rolex, it just means you're a good partner.
you're good at doing.
But if you're
your
a
thing.
staff, you didn't really do anything, right?
Yeah.
So this kid's wearing a Rolex, and I just kind of went up to him and like, I could be very passive aggressive at times, and I just look at him and I go, "Hey, man, is that a Rolex?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "It's a nice watch, right?" And I just kind of said it in like a way he never wore it again. but like it was one of those things. Like, dude, you can't be
Read the room.
cruising
Yeah.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
you cruising around.
That sounds like a very John Libretti move. I wonder where you learned it from.
Like
like a rusty trombone.
Subconsciously, you didn't realize that you were pulling an asshole rusty trombone kind of situation.
But you know what?
Out too, though.
Yeah, it was a lookout for Uncle Ernie.
Sure.
So,
Johnny was looking
see,
out for you. He didn't want you to
tell people I played the
He didn't want you to
trombone.
get bullied for playing the trombone.
Don't tell people that.
One
Yeah.
of my
If I bully him hard
Never
now,
say
it'll
this
make it
again.
better.
Right.
later.
one of my favorite parts of last night was the callback that happened naturally, like in like a sitcom. So because I was wearing the vest
Oh,
situation,
the Burt
Yeah.
Wonderstone vest.
right? And then you were like, people are gonna think you're a fucking magician. We get there, we're saying hello to everybody, and the one guy we say hello to is a good friend, old friend of mine. I shake his hand like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" He's like, "Oh no, no one called you. We got a DJ."
That's right. Yeah.
No way. Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's why you
Funny. I
always
don't know what to say his name, but that guy is really, really funny.
Yeah.
that's
he's
why you
really
always
funny.
walk around with a deck of cards. If you're wearing a vest,
I gotta keep
if
it
you're
to
wearing a
that.
vest, you just keep a deck of cards. Be like, oh no, this is different.
Listen,
And then you go up to somebody, you do a magic trick, and you're like, 6 of hearts, and they're like, no, and you're like, fuck, and then you just walk away.
was that guy even a magician?
I would just love to like figure out how to do the sleight of hand so that like when I say hello to someone, give them a hug or like shake their hand.
Steal their
I could-
wallet.
I could get like a card in
Steal
their
their
pocket.
meatballs.
And
With
this
your number
way-
on it?
And this way they make the joke, and I'd be like, "Oh, is this your card? Is this your card? Why don't you check your front right pocket?" And they're like, "Whoa, when did that get in there?" If I
Yeah.
could be so quick with it,
Yeah.
Whoa,
That
it's
is-
LCD mortgage.
Hypothetically though, if you're at a show like that and you keep saying 6 of hearts, you
Law
have
of
a 1
averages.
out of 52
Two, not
that-
including jokers.
that you will be right. And as long as you take out the instruction guide and the jokers,
Yep.
1 in 52
1 in
chance,
52 chance.
you're gonna be right.
I don't
They're
know
gonna be
if
like,
that makes
oh my
sense,
God.
though. I don't know if that. I think like initially I thought it did, but if you're putting the 6 of hearts, like if you're putting the cards back, it's 52 each time.
But then you
do
shuffle.
it, and you shuffle, and you do it to 100, 54 people.
Right.
I don't know if you're like
There's more
There's
shuffling
more-
involved.
There's
in it.
more.
Yeah.
What's the
Math
word?
Right, guys, that was
There's
stupid.
more,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was
Damn
shit, damn it, guys. I'm so sorry.
Variables. Like if you keep shuffling it, there's more variables.
Yeah, maybe
every
don't-
time you shuffle it. then
yeah,
it's like-
don't
Yeah.
maybe don't shuffle.
That was
I will say,
gambler's
there-
fallacy on
There
me.
was
Guys,
entertainment
won't happen
last night
again.
that was
You're off
great,
the show.
but we actually did think that there was gonna, because at a previous time we went to a similar event like
There
this.
was a magician.
There was a magician, and I was like,
know.
this fucking guy, like he's like, they're gonna bring a magician. I was like, 30 or like 28 at the time. Like, they're gonna bring a magician over here, and he came over, and when I say he wowed me, like I was
this
wowed.
guy, I mean, this
That's-
guy literally, he looks unenthused. He reads the room as he's doing the card trick in front of you. And as he's doing the trick, you're like, I think I know this one. It's probably very simple. Like, take this card. And he looks at that card, and then you put it back. And then he's like, oh my God, is this your card? And you're like, oh my God, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But he was doing wild stuff. He'll be sitting there shuffling the deck and be like, we'll check your back pocket. Oh my God, yeah, that's the one you signed. All right. And then take it back and then keep going.
Idiot. Yeah.
And he
Is this
does
my
that.
birth certificate?
But like I've seen him at a few functions. It's different tricks every single time. The guy is so outrageously talented. It's
What's
it's
his
unbelievable.
name?
I can find.
That's part of the
out.
mystery.
Yeah.
I can find out because this guy, like, if you're gonna hire him for a function, he's worth every penny. You tell him the
It's not Kreskin, is it?
It's not the amazing Kreskin. Kreskin.
all right. Again, if you book him through us, you get 5%.
You gotta get
I gotta
4%
tell
off
him
your
first, so
rusty
give us some-
trombone.
Give us some time. Yeah, just tell him Rusty Trombone. He'll know who sent you.
Yeah.
Johnny Palumbo.
He doesn't have a magic name.
It says magician.
Hold on a
Fucking,
second.
Johnny
Oh,
Magician.
Gianni.
Gianni Palumbo. He's got 600,000 plus followers on the TikTok, and then he could do bookings through the website. Find him.
Big shout outs to Gianni. He
Johnny
really
Palumbo
is.
one.
I'm a guy.
Unreal. Like
I-
this unreal magician.
You missed a Kreskin reference. Kreskin. I am a guy who hates interactive entertainment. I don't like to be called on. I don't like somebody coming up. Oh, what are you?
Yeah, I don't either.
like leave me alone. Always, like, don't talk to me.
Right.
So when this guy came up, and I'm like, he's gonna do some. This was like a couple years ago. I'm like, this guy's gonna do some bullshit. Like,
You're afraid of being embarrassed or something?
I just don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't
for
like
Magic. I am now. Well, you finish. You go ahead.
it. Oh no, he wowed me. Like it was. I was really like, oh shit, dude. Like you got me. Like like I'll go to your show.
Yeah. See, I don't like
at the Magic Underground every other Thursday.
Yeah.
In the Village.
The Magic Dungeon.
Dude, even on Instagram, he's on Instagram and he posts shit. I watched the same video 10 times and I'm like, I still have no idea. Like, I was like, some of this is outrage. Like it's unreal.
Yeah.
Nick is going to perform at the Gothic Castle.
I would love that.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind anymore if I got called up for Magic shows.
Well, you go to Magic shows, and that's not a rip. Like you actually go to like things I would like to go to. You go to cool Magic shows and like
the
a lot of
Illusions
stand-
Magic Bar is. That's one of my favorite places in Baltimore. It's great.
Do you go with Crusher?
I have not gone with Crusher yet.
You
No.
see, he has no imagination. He doesn't believe in magic.
Well, I don't think that's why. I think
No, that's why.
Going with, okay.
Why don't you tone it down over there, buddy?
No, but the magic stuff I don't mind. It's like things like comedy that I don't like being like if I'm in the front row and they try to make jokes and it's like they'll like I don't mind getting shit talked if it's funny, but when they ask me questions, it's like now does your joke like is it predicated on my response? Like that's not I don't see that as a good like routine or a good, for a comic is like you're banking on being funny based on what I respond to. Like you better be damn good, like an Andrew Schultz kind of guy who can do a full 30-minute, 45-minute special work in a room. I go to a lot of those like minor league kind of comedy shows. The guys just getting spun up, trying to get into the business. And I went actually a couple weeks ago, and that's almost all of them were doing crowd work, but it was asking questions. And I was at one point I was getting almost annoyed where it's just like, you guys are not there yet. Not that like I'm there. I'm not there at all. That's why I don't go up there. But they were asking questions. I was just giving different answers each time. Like, oh, where do you work? I'm in the CIA. And then they would make a joke. And then another guy would come up and be like, oh, you work in the CIA? I was like, no, I'm a math teacher. You're like, well, you just said CIA. And it was like, and it's like, what did you make a joke on that? Like, you son of a bitch. That's I got you. Like,
you fucking planned that.
Yeah.
I went audience 1, you 0.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one time we were up
Build a
at,
better comic foundation.
we were up at Foxwoods, right? And we went to go see Kevin James's brother.
Yeah, he's good. He was good.
And he was great.
Larry Valentine?
Yeah.
Great. He's good. Yeah.
So,
good.
But we sat in the back, and I had really long hair at that time. So they was like, "Oh, we'll sit in the back," because Nick doesn't like being called upon.
Right.
So anyway, we see the show, and the guy who is the host, the MC for the evening, is this big burly dude with a beard, bald head, earrings, and stuff. And then he's funny, but then he starts ripping into people,
Doing crowd work.
right?
Yeah.
But like vicious.
Yeah.
We later on that night, we're at the bar, the Scorpion Bar, and we're hammered drunk. And at this point in the evening, I've had 5 different, oh, you know who you look like? Right? Wasn't that the same night?
Yeah, you had Howard Stern, you had Heath Ledger, you had
Howard Stern.
who's the guy from the Packers that was Clay Matthews.
I had a Steven Seagal.
Whoa.
Yeah, because of the pulled back hair. And anyway, so but then we see that actually, yeah.
Speaking about magicians.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But then we see the guy who was the MC, and this was when the bar's closing up. They're trying to get everyone out. We
Dude,
start
it's like
talking to him at the bar. We were there for too long.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're talking to him. We're like, oh, yeah, we're so good. He's like, oh, thanks, man. He was really nice and stuff. And then Nick was like, oh, yeah. We didn't want to sit in the front because, we didn't want to get picked on. He looks at me. He's like, oh, yeah, I would have fucking murdered you.
That's good. But again, unless he's asking questions, I don't mind as much. Like I love when people, if they have a good joke that shit talks me, I'm all for it. I love that shit.
But if you got to like fish for it.
Yeah, if your like comic success is predicated on how I respond to you, I don't see that as a good foundation of being a comic.
Especially if they walk up there like with the confidence of Turtleneck Guy. It's over. Like you're like, so what do you do for work? Yeah, exactly.
I'm
You're just
unemployed.
like,
Oh, sorry.
right. But if it's like a Bill Burr, like, oh, he's gonna murder whoever
The
that
guy,
is.
the entertainment last night had some good like crowd work zingers, but like it wasn't like asking questions. It was like people get up to go to the bathroom, and he was tossing out darts.
Yeah, he was making comments, and they were funny. And that was the one thing I loved about him was just like he didn't. If you laughed, good. If you didn't laugh, don't give a shit.
Yeah,
like
He
he's
did not
gonna.
care.
these, and he kept saying these are the jokes. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
the jokes.
Yeah, it was
Like
great.
people are like talking over him, and he's like, "I don't care." Like this is.
Yeah, I
Didn't
didn't
miss
I,
a beat.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I mean, but that's also the nature of an Italian American
With that many
gathering, if you
people
will.
together.
It
And
was loud.
Once you get a couple drinks and a few. Hold on, somebody's calling me.
Is it
No,
important?
it was just sausage and peppers.
Was he calling or texting?
No, he called, but it was a missed call.
Damn it.
It was a nice array of entrees last night. I gotta say, the food was very, very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm not a chicken. Was that chicken
Franchise.
franchise? I'm not
Is
a
that
chicken
franchise or
franchise
Marcella?
guy.
I don't know the difference.
Marsala is a mushroom,
Mushroom?
franchise is a lemon,
Okay.
Correct.
and I don't like lemons on my foods. You know this.
Right.
I
Is
hate
this a
lemons on my
fruit?
foods. No, I like it in ice.
An Arnie Palmy?
Arnie Palmy or
all over my pants.
or an,
Sure.
pie.
Lemon
Like a
pie?
meringue?
Like a lemon meringue.
Oh.
I honestly don't think I've ever had lemon meringue pie.
Pretty good.
If I'm ordering a slice of pie, I just choose from something that I know,
cheesecake. A nice
or just
cheesecake.
cake.
Chicken pot.
Chicken pot pie.
But the chicken franchise was good. Then which I've never seen. I've seen catered like in a tray, like buffet style. I've never seen it brought to a table family style. But they had sausage and peppers.
Sausage and peppers.
Like,
Yeah, they
like
did.
brought
They were playing to
a-
the crowd.
I'd never seen somebody bring that out like at a very fancy catered thing.
I couldn't have been happier.
It was really good too. It was good quality sausage.
Yeah.
It wasn't that premium. Like they went to a butcher.
Yeah, they did. And it was cooked perfectly
Yeah.
too. It wasn't like overcooked.
Yeah,
It wasn't
no.
dry or
Rubbery.
anything.
No.
Yeah, it was
And the
good.
peppers they pepped.
The sweetness on the peppers really.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Very nice. Very,
Yeah,
it had that
compliments the
nice
dish.
olive oil like glaze to it.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean? And then like I guess the wild card for me and you, but you go to dinners here all the time, so you expect it, was the short ribs.
Or what are,
Like because it's not an Italian thing. It's just
Yeah,
like,
but they're
you would think they would
I
do
just
a
thought they were
meatballs.
just okay.
I thought it was just
Oh.
braised beef.
It's space short ribs.
Very short ribs.
It was good.
Yeah, you
Very
didn't like
good.
them last night?
I thought they were okay. I wasn't like I would didn't write it in my
Well, don't
diary.
forget, there's the meat shortage show.
What about the sausage and peppers? Did you write those in the diary?
No, I didn't even have any. Isn't that wild?
You didn't have any sausage?
You can't
no
have
sausage.
peppers.
No, I
You can't
can't do
have
peppers. Can't do
But you
peppers.
can't even
do
do
peppers.
just regular. I thought it was just hot. You can't even do regular. Oh no,
No,
you're
can't do
right.
any
It's
peppers.
regular,
It's
just regular
regular
peppers. But can you do sausage?
I could do a sausage, yeah.
Why didn't you just take a piece of sausage?
I was full. You see, I when I walked into this event last night, I
you
was
had
so
two-
hungry.
You had 2 bowls of pasta, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my wife's not a pasta person. So
Oh,
they put
that's
the
a good
pasta
time.
down in front of her. Well, first off, she was like, I don't want pasta. And I looked at her, I'm like, just get the
Just
fucking
get-
pasta. And so she gets it. And then I look, Pop, if you want the pasta, let me know. And he
Very
was like,
honorable thing. Like
Yeah,
I'm going to
look out
offer
for
it
the
here
father.
first in hopes that he
of
turns
course.
it down.
I mean, he paid for the ticket. So I was like, and then he's like, oh no, I don't want that. And I was like, great. And then I dumped it on mine.
Done.
And off we go. But again, I overloaded because I was very hungry going into it. So I loaded up on the appetizers and things. But the time they came
Carbo
out,
load. Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to overload when they're bringing the food out quick because even if you have 2 bowls of pasta, the next thing is out so quick you're still in that hungry stage.
But you're still going to hit that hunger if it takes too long.
No, if it takes too long, I'm full. Like the fullness sets in for me after a half hour. That's why I had to take my time eating because if I eat half a sandwich and then wait 25 minutes, I'm fine. If I eat half a sandwich, 5 minutes later, I want another half a sandwich, but I got to wait for like the food to.
That's the addiction talking.
Yeah.
I know
You'll
you
be
get
right.
this. You get the sandwich sweats right now.
You got any bread?
Yeah. No, when I saw
something like a dip. You got anything? Like
actually
a dip?
when your wife initially was like, no, I'm not gonna have pasta. I almost did the same thing, and that was the first day I met her. I was like, no, hold it. Someone will eat. I promise.
when we go to weddings and they come around with the hors d'oeuvres and stuff,
Yeah.
if it's something that I take one of, she
will
will
take 'cause
take
she
one
knows.
of because she'll give it to me.
Yeah.
because she's a good wife, great
she's,
wife.
she's a really good.
Good.
wife.
She's a
woman.
great wife.
Yeah.
So every time this happens, where even if it's like something she for sure doesn't want, she will. Oh, I'll take one. Or if she goes to if she runs back up to the appetizer bar, if they have like the buffet, she'll come back with a bunch of stuff that I like,
Yeah,
just because like, hey,
that's
figured.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, great.
When I'm a
woman.
big fan of your
What are
wife.
things that she does not eat? I know she doesn't eat cheese.
She doesn't eat most
Parmesan
things.
cheese. Parmesan
She
cheese.
doesn't like Parmesan,
Hmm.
but again, like the things she chooses to eat and chooses not to eat, right? So if she had a choice, like she probably wouldn't have had any of those entrees last night, right? Like if she had the choice, like she would just ordered a salad and
ordered
chicken on
something
top,
else,
and
yeah.
like that was that. But like from an appetizer perspective, she doesn't like lamb. So if they come
Ooh.
out with like the lamb lollipops,
Uh,
she'll for sure. She knows I love lamb. She will.
She'll
If I
grab.
take one, she'll take one, so I can have two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lamb
That's
is
it
that's
for
one of
her.
the holy trinity of Easter meats.
Does she have a twin sister?
Yeah, we're all wondering. Triplets, anybody?
Yeah.
She has a brother that's
Nova.
almost as good.
Is he a good guy?
Robbie's a
Oh,
great
he's a
guy.
great guy.
brother's a good guy. Yeah,
Really, really good dude.
Great
All
guy.
right.
Love that guy.
Good family. Good for you.
good family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need to get an appetizer partner in crime, if you will.
that's what you need.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
see.
going to an Armenian family dinner and things like that. Wow. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Well,
Oh, food.
first time I like went there for like a real party, her aunt shoved a softball size. I'm not being hyperbolic. A softball size of raw meat into my mouth to eat.
Raw?
Raw meat.
What was?
These
what
people,
kind of meat?
these people eat raw meat.
Uh,
It's called
What's-
chikifte.
what is the meat from? Where are we? Like
It's
what animal?
From a cow.
Okay.
And they grind that like 3 times, and for some reason they think that does it. And
That does
they
it.
put, they put olive oil on top,
I was gonna say,
green
was there any
onions.
That'll
seasoning?
do.
the olive oil, green onions, and then maybe some some scallions, some onions, and then pepper, the pepper paste they mix with it, and it's very good. But I'm sorry, they put bulgur rice in it too. So when you
Okay.
have like 2 pieces of that and you're starving, you have
That's-
2 pieces of that. 10 minutes later, you're like, I'm gonna die. I'm so full.
Yeah, it sounded dense.
Very dense.
Yeah, like a brick.
very dense.
I'm gonna
but
ask.
most
in
major
this
parties are like
venue,
that.
Louis,
Yeah.
Can you tell us how do they make butt egg?
You know, I might tell you now, so that way it never comes up again because
And
it's
so you
recorded.
can always go back to
I can
this.
always go back to the tape.
Refer back
always
to
go
the
back.
episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
exactly right. So, butt egg. So you take phyllo dough. all
Okay.
right? So it's like almost like parchment,
Sure.
right? So very thin. You put melted butter. You do that on the.
How you
on the-
doing?
Do you want me
Yeah.
to hold the mic
That's
so
how
you
you
can
doing.
get handsy with it?
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great. So then you do, and then there's you could have a cheese mixture, or other people do cheese and like spinach and things like that.
Okay.
Again, I'm not in the inner circle to know
you
exactly
don't know
how
there
you
might
make
be a
that.
secret ingredient you're missing.
Yeah, I just know that exists, and then I take that. You take a little bit, and you put that right in the corner. Yeah, of your phyllo dough, of your like Declaration of Independence of phyllo dough.
Yeah.
Okay, you
And
got to
then-
roll it out like a scroll.
Well, to get it out of the pack, you do. But
Yeah.
when you fold it up, you're folding it like a paper football.
Okay. Oh.
So then you have the little bit right there, and then you fold it like a paper football, and then
like an apple turnover in our circles.
butt egg.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And butt egg. That's
and,
it.
And then butt egg.
And then butt egg.
Your
Then you
wife
bake that.
she has gotten me on like a lot of. Actually, I'm not gonna say that because I was like, oh, she got me on a lot of like cool foods I didn't think I would know I would eat, but actually the Armenian foods that she makes are like the very simple things that like I would totally.
It's also
they're all-
top notch.
the
they're all
kebab.
beef-based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like the,
They love their meat products.
those
there.
meatballs. Like what are those meatballs she makes? Like
Losh, like losh kebab.
yeah,
Losh
like
kebab.
losh kebab.
Mm.
Like
You guys are missing out though because you never had fool. Fool is a breakfast soup that they make.
I had it.
So
I had it when we went there for
bean-
dinner that
I
one
never
time.
had it.
Bean based.
Last year.
We had brunch
It
with
was.
fool.
It was. Yeah. It's a bean
Yeah,
based.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
breakfast.
And like
yeah,
for the
was
record, it
breakfast
wasn't
soup.
like planned. Just more than one person got in my mother-in-law's ear saying like, "You got to make fool," and she's like, "I'll make fool." And then like an hour, she's
Yeah.
whipping it up, and then it's literally a bean-based soup that you have like bread and like raw onions and tomatoes and a bunch of random stuff that you throw in there,
Sure.
and with like pita bread, and you eat that.
Oh,
Oh my god!
pretty good.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, I gotta say,
You don't think like beans for breakfast sounds like I'm not doing anything for the rest
Yeah,
of the
it's,
day?
it's very British.
I'll try anything at this
It's
point in my
good.
life.
I'm gonna say, Louis, between the two of us, a couple of Odars talking about
Yeah, just the two of us, like a nice barev.
Is that an Armenian thing too?
What's that?
Whatever the hell you guys are
Whatever-
talking about on my
whatever,
show.
whatever the
Odar-
stick is.
Well, like,
Odar means
Odar is
non-Armenian.
not, but like a derogatory term.
Yeah,
And
like-
so when
okay.
we went to Armenia, a big thing for me was to do a Stanzi Squat. And
What is that?
A Stanzi Squat is very much like when you go like that, but you go all the way down. I don't have enough room.
Yeah, like
You,
a catcher.
sit on
Flat
your-
feet.
yeah, but you sit on like the flat feet. You sit on the heels.
Yeah.
And then if we were
Smoke
hanging
sit.
out, we were walking around so much when we were there that just like kind of keep the back stretched
It
out
does-
or whatever.
yeah.
So I would do that, and then people would look at me, and then I would just go, "Badev." Badev means like like
You're
hello, like hello, how are
okay.
you? But
Is that like, was that your like, did they see that and be like, oh, he's accepted now? Or
that's probably what did it.
Honestly, out
That's
of everything.
Out of
He
everything,
even tries
I
speaking the
accepted you.
language.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
accepted you
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about it.
yeah,
Tries
thank
to be
you.
like- and when I always, and I can feel comfortable saying this, but I always tell Serena when she talks Armenian, it's a language that sounds like she's making up the words as she goes.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, wait, whoa. What?
It sounds like a really this is gonna be so bad. I just wanted. It just sounds like really terrible Russian. Like someone's fake speaking
'Cause, you know,
Russian.
Yeah.
regular Russian sounds so
But
good.
if you hear someone speaking in
No,
Russian, it sounds like
no,
you're
but you
speaking
know
English in reverse.
Yeah.
And then when you see someone speaking Armenian, you're like, you sound like you're trying to
Speak Russian in reverse, but
Yeah.
not, it doesn't come out English.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like it's like Russian in the wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those languages out there that you try to read them and you try to listen to them, and I don't know. I have no idea if I would ever be able to pick them up.
It's tough with that, like Russian, because like it's the Cyrillic alphabet. Like it's not like the
It's different.
the whole language is just different.
Dude.
Anything European based, you can
Dude,
like Western European based, you can kind
Yeah.
of pick up.
We're in Armenia. All the signs are different. And
Yeah.
then because I don't speak anything, one of the days I had to pee really bad. So I like look at my wife, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. She's like, you know the word for bathroom? So I'm like, it's what the hell is it? Now of course I forget, but it was just say you have to go to the Bekadon. So I go, okay. So I go up to a guy, I'm like, Bekadon, right? Thinking like this will do it, right? If you go to Italy, right? Like you just say the word bagno. You could say anything. And so this guy's looking at me like, what?
And then he shot me.
Bagno and Bekadon. And then I don't know. And then I was with another kid who like thought he spoke Armenian, and he's looking at me. He's like, "Try Zukaran." I'm like, I don't get it, but sure. I said Zukaran. They go, and then I look at him. I'm like, and I just go toilet, and he goes, "Oh yeah." And then he like leads me to it. I'm like, what the fuck? And so
he
I
was
go
like,
back.
"Yeah, sure, kid. What are you saying all these weird words?"
Yeah.
I would have been so pissed off.
So I go after I clean the piss out of my pants. I go to my wife, and I'm
After
like,
I go to calicocutpants.com.
I'm like, what's going on? Because you guys are speaking Armenian at home, and I picked up on some words, and I just
None
tried.
of these worked.
Yeah, and none of them worked. And they're like, oh yeah. And like we would go out, the three, like me and my in-laws, and like my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my wife, and like we'd go out. I'm like, great, you guys tell them what we want to order. I'm not dealing with this. You go do this, right? If we go to Italy, I'll be
I'm
your
not
guy.
dealing with
I'll
this.
be your guy. But here, please do this. They didn't know what they were saying. I'm like, guys, who are you lying to? You lying to me or you lying to them?
Maybe they really are making up the language.
Yeah. And then it turns out that because of the whole, I mean, there's been some like significant conflict in the region
Yeah.
that they adopted extra words from other places.
And create a different dialect.
Exactly.
Maybe.
And then now it's like a very US focused, US centric Armenian words. So that if you're in Armenia, like Armenians would know they're not from, right? It's like a North Jersey Italian going over there.
Right.
Right. And being like, oh, gabagool, they would know like, okay,
This is
you're not from
This
here.
is not, he's not a regular, if you will. And
Correct.
I didn't even say gaba. I was too afraid to even say gabagool when I was in Italy. I just said
pointed.
C.
You're like that
I just
one.
said C and everything.
Yes.
I don't think they don't have gabagool in Italy.
No.
Scapagol.
Very good.
Well,
Va bene. Va bene. Molto bene.
They don't have pepperoni either. It just means peppers, from what I recall. Like if you order like a pizza with pepperoni, like the pepperoni that we know is
Oh,
not.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't know
there.
I don't even think they have pizza with that on there. That
No,
topping
no,
on
no.
there.
I mean,
That's
it's
like a
usually
salami. It's like a hot
ham.
salami.
They put,
It'd be like
they
a
put ham on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or prosciutto.
Soprassato.
Actually, prosciutto plays like bacon, so it works great.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm.
Taylor ham.
You know what?
But that's you. Now you sound like
Russian.
yeah.
yeah, that was really weird.
A Russian.
I
in
was
Italy.
thinking
A
Yeah.
Hungarian.
Who only knows one person
We'll-
from New
we'll-
Jersey.
we'll
Yeah.
call it the line, and I defer to you, Johnny. This is your show, but to wrap up the podcast today, Louis has some stand-up jokes
Oh God.
that he's got on his
He's
phone
trying to work through.
that he should pick like one or two and do a couple of them here.
Come on,
to give it a four.
Do a tight five.
Look, I'm never going to pressure you into doing something like that if you don't want to. I also think that if you have to read the bits verbatim, I don't expect them to go well.
No, well, look. So for the record,
They're like one-liner Mitch Hedberg style
so
stuff.
for the court to know that I'm scrolling now, and that's all of this content of like funny things that happen when I'm.
So
mostly
do
when
me
I've
a
been
quick
drinking.
favor. Let's do this. I'm gonna face the phone this way. Can you even see it from
Can't
here?
even see it.
I was gonna say, and then just scroll through. I mean, there's a lot of stuff
It's
here.
a lot of material.
A lot of content.
A lot
that I
of
gotta work
thoughts that
through.
you could could
Exactly.
potentially be funny.
The finance
Okay.
career didn't really
All
work
right, I
out.
really, if you want to do it and you feel comfortable
I'll do
going
a-
through some stuff, go for it.
I'll
Because
just do a
we're all
couple.
about that. What I really, again, it's your bits. I really don't think you should. Please don't read them for your sake, because
Yeah, no.
we will provide feedback if you will.
No, I'd prefer not that. But
You do have a lot of good,
and, you know,
stuff
some of
on
this is
there.
really
It's got
good.
some really good
Yeah, and it's
stuff
like
there.
just from real life. You just see it in real life. You're like, this is funny.
Well, okay, so the one was I was thinking about new colognes and thinking like
because of that guy last night.
No, not because of that guy. Completely unrelated.
Wow.
Shockingly,
Yeah.
but I was like, there's like Aqua de whatever, and I was like, what about an Aqua de Jack Del Rio, who was the former coach for the Raiders?
Oh, that's right.
An Aqua de Jack Del Rio would actually go really
But
well.
you just can't like make it one word or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Check the real.
And it's like
Yeah.
a super French looking, like they're
What would
jumping
it
in a
smell
pool
like?
of water,
call
and then
that guy to do the commercial.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, he'd probably be in it.
Yeah.
so opening up a financial advising office, and you know how they're always like like Wealth Capital or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But just opening up a financial advisor office after like a Chinese restaurant's name and just calling like Golden
Dim sum,
City
yeah.
or like Szechuan
Dragon
Palace.
Who does your financial management? Oh, Golden City.
Yeah,
Well,
I go
yeah.
to the Dragon City.
The Emerald Palace.
Emerald Palace.
Most recently, like the Delta variant.
Yeah,
When people were talking about the Delta variant, I literally was like at the office, and I'm like, that just sounds like a Steven Seagal movie from the '80s, like Delta variant.
yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean?
Delta, like, and then there's some tagline to it.
Like
yeah.
it's a colon after it. It's
Yeah.
Delta variant colon.
It's not real.
Return to New York.
Yeah, I'm a fake Italian / Japanese guy all in one, and
Yeah.
I'm believable. Like,
All right, and like I'll do like one more, and there's like 100 here, but it was this was happened a few weeks ago when I'm scrolling through Facebook, and you know how you get ads for things, and they're usually very topical. And for
Sure.
me, they were like diet pills and protein powders and stuff like that, and that's the shit I was seeing. And then one day it just turned into like, here's t-shirts to hide your belly.
like, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, just go, you've given up.
Yeah.
We know that because you haven't.
You can see the trajectory.
Yeah. Just how about these t-shirts?
We were like hinting at
It
like maybe you should
started
lose
with-
weight.
It started with gym memberships, so you
Correct.
can go physically do it. Then they're like, oh, maybe he's looking for something
Supplements.
easier. Here's
Just
a pill and
supplements, yeah.
supplements, and then they're like, fuck it, you fat piece of shit.
just here's a shirt that'll
just
make you
take
look
this
less
big
fat.
shirt
Yeah.
that was made out of a bed sheet.
Correct.
Yeah.
You'll look less fat with it, and here you go.
Yeah,
Go
I
fuck
don't own any of those shirts.
It looks great on you, though.
Yeah, really.
It
You're
looks
does.
so
not
good.
even wearing one right now.
No. I have
Is it
seven.
one-
I
are
bought
those-
7.
The ones that like drape over the stomach and
It's
it
a
looks like a
TC
lampshade.
It's a TC Tugger.
Yeah, it's tapered like a lamp.
It's a
shade.
TC Tugger.
TC Tuggers.
Oh my god.
Nobody knows what that is besides us.
Good.
Good.
We have to start making.
Yeah, we gotta
we got
bounce outta
a
here.
nice dinner coming.
Yeah,
We gotta
thanks
go to.
everybody for letting me know that my show is over now. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we both dropped some little
Yeah, we
subtle
should.
hints. We're like,
Yeah, but yeah, we do actually have to go to another family dinner and another stereotypical place. One question I do have for you guys, and this is not answerable now, but like,
get the muscles when you go. Is what I'm saying.
no, not for that.
Oh,
This is for next year's event, at the same event next
yeah,
year.
you're coming.
We got to find a way to get some sort of footage,
Yeah.
even if it's silent footage or just video of the cast of characters. We can work with that. I can get that out to the junction, no problem.
They
But
had pen cameras in World War II.
yes,
We can do
find
it
a way.
in
We can do
It's not, a
2022.
secret, it's not
Yeah.
a secret society.
Correct.
Again, I just want to get a cast of characters.
Can't
Because
you just get something from like? Can't you get something from Army?
I'll just. What do you mean? Like a
Can you
secret
get-
camera?
Yeah, like
No, I mean, like, are we going to be allowed to film, or does it have to be in secret?
Well, we don't need them to sign releases or anything.
What if we just
No,
told
they're
them
not
like
gonna be
we'll do
talking.
videography for free?
Yeah, let them know, like a bar mitzvah. Or,
You'll do
or-
I also
videographer
feel
rate.
like
Never
it's-
give them footage.
Right, right.
It's the kind of environment where if you just had a camera, people would want to be in front of it.
I think so.
So you just bring a camera.
They would
think we don't have to be
also,
sneaky
I
about
guarantee,
this.
they would all love this show.
Oh,
They
hell
might.
yeah.
They would all love this show.
Until they find out some of them were talking about them.
Yeah, well,
Until Jacquard Noir guy
hey, there
figures
was
it
no
out.
disrespect here, though. In
No, it
everything.
was just,
No,
it was
I love
fun.
it. No, I love them
we
all.
we grew up with like these people. Like we
Correct.
are these people.
Yeah,
Like,
and
we
you
are
know,
these characters.
It's one of those things that it's like it's such a defining thing.
oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, and how that's a good thing,
yeah.
right?
we're unique.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing bad about it in my perception.
In
yeah.
all of our perceptions,
Yeah.
it's like an appreciation for the experience that was.
Oh,
the
yeah.
experience.
because it was an experience.
It was
Yes.
a compelling cast of
100%.
characters is the best way you described it, Pete, earlier. But before we go, Luscious, you're not tracking this probably, but we got to end with the big three.
Big three.
These are for you real quick. These are the three things I like to recommend people do in their daily lives, like, and genuinely put effort into to be a better, happier, less stressed person in their lives
Mhm.
and to kind of spread that positivity out. So the first one, exercise every day. One of the easiest things to do. It seems hard if you're doing like a full workout, but it can just be as simple as just going for a walk after a meal, just to get moving, get the endorphins going. It'll help you physically, mentally, emotionally. Number two, probably the hardest one to do, to simplify it, is don't be a shitty person. I think one of the easiest things going on these days in the social media world, especially on the internet, is to be a shitty person to somebody and throw hate at them, because on the other end, it's just a Twitter account or just an Instagram or a profile, and it's not a person. So I always say, think of the other person. Think how you feel when someone's an asshole to you and a shitty person to you, and remember that and understand that that person is feeling the same way. They have feelings and families and shit going on in their lives,
And they're
that-
just trying to learn the trombone sometimes.
sometimes that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to get better and they don't understand.
They're trying to join the jazz band.
Exactly
Circle.
that. Exactly.
Circle on the
that.
LPDS today.
Right. And the third thing, I think the most important one, is to be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good that you have in your lives, whether it's an item, a vehicle, a roof over your head, toilet, or it's the people in your lives and the experiences that you had and the lessons you learned. Be genuinely thankful and grateful and show that to those people, to let them know. And then, that'll spill over into their lives. That positivity, that outlook on life will spill over, and the good will be contagiously spread just as good as the bad is and the negative is currently. So that's the big three. Thank you guys again. Thanks for doing this. Lou, thanks for, being on the show for the first time. We got to get
Thanks for
back
having
on
me.
and talk and, get your individual origin story here for the LPDS universe. So that'll be fun. And, but we got to go. We got to clean up. I got to get my bed set up for tonight because this is it right here, folks. So thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that crap. Tell your friends and enemies and spread the good word. But thank you again. I love you all.